All right, folks. Last thing on our docket here. So we talked about the Polaris Dawn mission. We have the patch that I was able to pick up by donating through St. Jude's research for the Polaris Dawn mission. Love the patch, and what I want to do is discuss this a little bit. So if you want to learn more about all of the research, I'm going to touch on just a few of them here, but you can go to polarisprogram.com/science-research. If you just go to polarisprogram.com, you can find it. It's one of the tabs up top. But under that section, it says that Polaris Dawn, the first of up to 3 space flights in the Polaris program, endeavors to rapidly advance human spaceflight capabilities by demonstrating new technologies and conducting extensive scientific research to expand our knowledge of humans adapting, living, and working in space. The 38 selected projects from 23 partner institutions are designed to advance both human health on Earth and future long-duration spaceflights. While each experiment was selected for inclusion in the mission profile, additional testing and qualification requirements are underway. A final list of approved-to-fly experiments will be published closer to launch. So, huge list of all these laboratories, the Air Force Academy, University of Hawaii, SpaceX themselves, University of Calgary, NASA, the Medical University of South Carolina. So many folks, and there is so many different experiments. Just Baylor College of Medicine, one of the experiments here is Biobank, HSGC Omics. And the experiment explanation here, so biospecimens from the biobank are also stored at Baylor College of Medicine as part of an omics study. The study aims to perform the gold standard omics analysis to start building an understanding of effects of space on the human body. So having it sounds like, two separate samples, just like they did with the Year in Space mission, right, with Scott Kelly and Mark Kelly, biological twins, right, having one live on Earth and one live in space for a year and seeing what the differences were. That's a really cool experiment. Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, there's Lamas, literally looking at more astronauts in space. I love that name. Is a student-led project from the Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University Space Technologies Lab. The team seeks to design and build a camera to capture immersive views of the Polaris Dawn EVA. Yes, so the Polaris Dawn, as you can see in the actual patch here, is the idea of this mission is for SpaceX to test an EVA, and this would be an extravehicular activity that is happening that's not a moon mission. It's the farthest one from Earth that'll ever happen, and that has ever happened. And so it will break a record if they're able to do that. But also, this is next level. NASA just got 4K on the International Space Station, right? So there's probably a whole bunch of stuff from a technology-wise, maybe camera, maybe software that can help with dealing with the extreme views in space, right? Extreme darkness, extreme brightness. That could be really interesting. All right, moving along, there is here is NASA. So one of the missions they want to do is occupant protection. Launching into space and returning to Earth causes the human body to undergo substantial forces. The spacecraft's seat and respective restraints, spacesuit and vehicle dynamics, determine the forces astronauts are exposed to. Sex, age, anthropometry, and spaceflight deconditioning are just a few of the characteristics that play a role in how well these loads are tolerated. This study aims to identify the injury risk based on all of these factors. That information will be used to assess future risk of injury and develop mitigations. So that's really cool, learning how the body, depending on the various different organs that you may have inside of you, how that deals, how you deal with the forces of space. Because if you're going to talk about like natural organic humans, we're probably not supposed to be in space. So we're building technology and engineering around us to allow us to do that. So, we've had a very deep pool of, male astronauts. We've started to get more female astronauts. And I'm sure there's a wide spectrum within, regardless of gender, that it happens with space. I mean, we saw that Haley Arsenault, the first astronaut with a prosthetic to go into space and return. And one of her concerns in that Netflix documentary that she was talking about was the prosthetic breaking mid-flight, because obviously that would be terrible. And she'd lose aspect of one of those limbs. But she did fine, and she was able to go through all the training, do a lot of the mitigations that they're talking about, to go up and come back. And I mean, as someone who doesn't have typical function right now of my body, I look up to someone like Haley Arsenault and actually believe that I still could be an astronaut. So I love this Polaris Dawn mission. I love that it's a continuation of the Inspiration 4 mission. And there are a ton of different scientific research options that they're looking at, and a few of them will actually be on that Polaris Dawn mission, the first of potentially 3 space flights for the Polaris program. So that ends this episode, folks. Thank you for joining us. Congrats, Kristen in the Sky, for your brand new Falcon 9 Crew Dragon SpaceX model rocket from SS Rockets. Again, thank you, SS Rockets, for helping us do this giveaway and giving us one of these amazing model rockets to give away. And that's it, folks. Have a great one. If you guys have any topics you want us to cover, anything, all things space, let us know. Don't forget to check out our 3D printing lab, AG3D Printing, on Instagram at AG3D Printing, our Etsy store at ag3dprinting.etsy.com, and of course our website for a free quote on your next project at ag3d-printing.com. Of course, manscaped.com. Use code word SPACE and get 20% off and free worldwide shipping. And that's it, folks. Thanks very much. Have a good one, and we'll talk to you next time on Today in Space. Spread love, spread science. Be good. See ya.